New York Giants fans, do me a favor just before, as you pop in, or if you're watching this while it's going on, if you went back and get in there and leave a comment, just do that right now because I just feel like this show, this entity, it just runs off of great conversation between people who are passionate about sports and mostly people who are passionate about the New York Giants. So if you are that person, you are in the right place. Dissension is always welcome as long as it's, friendly and not with vitriol, because I will like come to New Jersey and beat one of y'all up. Like I don't really particularly care. Y'all know that. Like I'm with all the shenanigans. But it doesn't usually get to that because I think that we're all friendly, right? I'm down here and the testosterone is flying. Like the testosterone is it's palpable inside of the Indiana Convention Center. We had the defensive line and the linebackers up today. And I can just tell you this. Number one, there is a lot of defensive front seven talent. I'm on mute. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry. I've been over here railing for like the last 3 minutes, and only Iman Perry. Shout out to Iman Perry. I did this yesterday, by the way, too. Um, Only Iman Perry was the one that was going to tell me that I was muted. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Um, New York Giants on SI. I am Coach Gene Clemons. Hopefully, you all are enjoying your evening and you jumped in. And maybe it was a good thing that I was muted at the beginning because I gave a few of you a little bit more time to get in here and get things popping. Um, day two, day two of me going live, right? Down here at the combine. Day three of the combine, I guess really day two of the combine, if you want to be specific about it, because yesterday was head coaches and GMs. And then today we got our first glimpse of the players. We had the defensive front come in. And I can just tell you that the testosterone level, it kicked up another several notches once we started to get football players in the building and not just media members and coaches and GMs and statisticians and trainers and all that other stuff. Like we got real football people in here. And so if you love football and as much as I love football today and for the next few days, it should be a lot of fun because I am going to go over with you some names of guys that are not like the household names, right? I was saying in my diatribe that I was doing when I was muted and nobody could hear. Shout out to Mon Perry again for that, who let me know that I was muted, right? Like I was saying during my diatribe that everybody is acting as if this is um everybody is acting as if this is a bad draft, like that this is a draft that does not have a lot of talent. And I think that is so off base, right? Because what they're really saying is this is a draft that doesn't have an abundance of offensive skill talent, like the high level change your team type of offensive skill talent. I've been on record as saying that um within the offensive skill guys, there's one obvious star. There's one obvious person that people think, oh, this guy can help change your franchise, right? And that's Love, right? But the problem is with Love is that people think that running back is a position that you shouldn't value with the number one overall pick or with the number two. So they're willing to take a quarterback who probably is not ranked. If we were lining up all the football players and just taking a football player, right? Not positional value, not any of that stuff. How far down do you think we would get before you got to Fernando Mendoza? My guess is pretty darn far, which is not a diss on Fernando Mendoza, just he is who he is. So tonight, because we have our first on-field workout starting tomorrow with the defensive line, the defensive tackles, and the defensive edge rushers, linebackers, like because we get all of that tomorrow, I'm going to give you some names of guys that you can keep an eye on when you're watching tomorrow. And then I'm also going to talk about some names that we know and we think that are going to be around. I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I have a giant issue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another edition of A Giant Issue. I'm Coach Gene Clemons. New York Giants on that side. That's where you get all of your New York Giants news and information from. Make sure you go over there. I'm not going to keep you long with the intro. I'm going to say this. We are inching super close to 3,000 subscribers on the New York Giants on SI YouTube page. We are at 2,993 subscribers. That's where we are right now. So if you're watching on X and you don't normally watch on YouTube, right? If you're watching on X and you don't normally watch on YouTube, go right now to the YouTube. I think there's 9 people watching on X. If you're watching on X and you're not already subscribed, go over to YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, see if you can get us to 3,000 before this show is over with. I would greatly appreciate it. For all the rest of you, if you're watching this and you're not like subscribed, what are you doing? Like, come on. You've been here enough. You know how I give it up. You know what I'm here for. You know what I'm here to do. There's no reason to play around with it. Let's get this thing popping, right? Tomorrow we get to see people perform. We don't get to see them play football. We get to see them perform. And this is an important distinction, right? Because again, I think a lot of people miss the significance of the combine. The significance of the combine is for confirmation or for an understanding. I need to go back and do more research. And it's the opportunity to see who's willing to shine when the lights are the brightest. And in this time of year, where everybody who is a football person, their eyes are turned to the combine, right? All of the eyes are on the combine. That's what they're thinking about. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're trying to understand. That's what they're trying to see. For all of those people who aren't willing to perform but still come to the combine, meh, that says something to me. I know that might sound weird to some people, but for me, if I see that you're not willing to perform, but you came anyway, you wanted to shine, you wanted to get noticed, you wanted the interviews, you wanted to make things easier on yourself, but I'm here and I'm healthy and nothing's wrong with me, but I'm not going to perform. Oh, well, I want to throw at my own guys. Well, it can't be okay for one person to do it and not okay for the other person to do it. But as I said last year, when Shedeur Sanders wasn't going to throw, why are you here, my guy? We can hear you talk on Well Off if we want to listen to you talk. Like, we can hear on your brother's platform what you need to say and why you're going to be a great, like, I'm the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan that there is. I'm not like some meat rider like y'all try to make it out to be. I really and truly think the man has a lot of skills and he was undervalued, right? But that don't mean I wasn't mad when he didn't perform at the combine, because what are you here for? Right? So guess who I'm also going to hold to that same standard? All of the guys who are not performing here at the combine this year. You know why? Because I call that consistency. Don't tell me, oh, well, this person's going to be a first round draft pick. So why does he have to perform? Before the precipitous drop of Shedeur Sanders last year, almost to a man, there was nobody that was saying that man wasn't going to be a first round draft pick. So under that knowledge and what we knew at the time, there was no reason for people to go, well, he should be performing. But they crucified him last year. And this year, for Fernando Mendoza, it's, well, he doesn't really have to do anything. He's the number one draft pick, blah, 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 blah. He's the number one draft pick by default. It's not like he's the number one draft pick because you're about to draft John Elway. Right? It's not like he's the number one draft pick because they looked up and said, oh my God, Steve Young is in this draft. They went and they looked and they said, well, he's here. I don't really know about the rest of these guys. So we're gonna leapfrog him up to the top. There are some special talents in this draft, and yet all I keep hearing is, oh, well, the draft ain't really that big. Ain't not a whole lot of changers. There are absolute world changers on defense that are in this draft. You just have to be smart and not like outthink yourself. Like, don't outthink it. If you don't think that Arvell Reese is an absolute world changer for a defense, then you don't know anything about defense. Right? I can't help you. I can't help you with that. You just don't know. And it's okay to not know, but then when we start having them conversations like with the people that know, just be quiet. It's cool. And I tell people all the time, when people start talking about baseball and who's the greatest in this era, because I don't watch baseball like I used to watch baseball, like, I shut up. I don't know. When I watch it, I'm like, oh, he's a good baseball player. If somebody's like, yeah, he's okay, but he blah, 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 I'm going to shut up. I don't know. And it's okay not to know. That's why you listen to podcasts. That's why you listen to the radio. That's why you read columns. It's to get the information that you don't know. And right now, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out here that don't know how much talent is in this draft. And it's not in the skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. It's not on the skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. It is on the offensive line. It's in the trenches. It's on the defense. And then, of course, because there's so much talent on the defense, we got to go overboard, right? Because there's so much talent on the defense, we got to go crazy with the comps. Like, people who will tell you that Caleb Downs is the best draft prospect they've seen at safety. And I'm like, I watched Eric Berry. I remember him. I don't remember Eric Berry ever like struggling in the slot versus slot receivers. Like, I've never seen that. So when you tell me that somebody is supposed to be the greatest safety prospect ever, and I've seen Sean Taylor play, I just wonder what you talking about, Holmes. Like, what you own? But again, those are the types of conversations I'm willing to have. If you did some research and you believe that Caleb Downs is the greatest safety of all times, okay, cool. Let's sit down and discuss. because I watched some film and he's really good and I think he's going to be great. But I saw Eric Berry. He know Eric Berry. He know Eric Berry. He know Chantella. I think we have some revisionist history on these things. Maybe we didn't get to see the fully, formed version of some of these guys. And because of that, we've gone a little overboard with the, with the praise, with the love. He's super good. He's not the only really good safety in this draft. I can almost guarantee you there's going to be a safety that outperforms Caleb Downs in the NFL. I can almost guarantee it. Because that's how these things work. We don't know what we don't really know, but we do know he's not them. Right? Like that's the thing that we know for certain. Like we know that he's not them. And so when I talk about who these guys are going forward, like these linebackers for net, like the Ohio State has two guys who I believe are the best linebackers in this draft. Right? Like I think that Arvell Reese, for all the talk, and today during his interview, right, Arvell Reese said that he thought he was more of an edge rusher. And I wish that I was in the brain trust of Arvell Reese. Like I wish that I could sit him down at a chair and tell him the life expectancy of a pass rusher who's 6'4", 250 pounds. Like a 6'4", 250-pound edge rusher, they just don't last that long. And they're unfairly like criticized. They're unfairly judged. Like if you look at what Kayvon Thibodeau is doing, like a lot of you Giants fans don't believe that Kayvon Thibodeau is a really good like edge, but he is. He just doesn't have a lot of sacks. And because he doesn't have a lot of sacks, we've deemed him a bust. And by we, I mean you, because I love him. I think he's a really good talent, right? But also, because you've deemed him a bust, you've killed his draft like, value. Because he's not a fan favorite, because the outside world knows that the Giants maybe want to come off him. You've killed the draft value. I hear people saying, "Man, I'll take a third round. I'll take a fourth round pick." You're gonna take a fourth round pick and a third round pick? Who are you getting in the third or fourth round that's going to be better than Kayvon Thibodeau? Like nobody seems to play out the other end of these trades. I can guarantee you this right now, right? All of the draft picks and all of the things that they did that came from the Leonard Williams trade is never going to give them Leonard Williams back. Sorry. Well, Coach, you can't say you got nothing for the Leonard Williams trade. That turned into Tyler Nubin, and that turned into Alexander. Really? Put them both together. They're still not Leonard Williams. And I'm not even talking about the Leonard Williams in his prime when he was getting like 100 tackles. Like I'm talking about the Leonard Williams right now that just won a championship because nobody can run on him. But all people care about is how many sacks he has. Like, oh, he just doesn't get the sack numbers. Man, if y'all don't miss me with these sacks, and by the way, if you're looking as my camera goes rogue on me because I accidentally put it on motion detecting and it just went and tried to find somewhere else. There's nobody else in here, bud. Come back to me. I'm literally in here. I'm not in here by myself. I won't say that. But I'm in here like as one of the only people in here. And maybe in the background, you could probably see some like Broncos people. Don't look at that one guy, though. He's going to be wearing some really skinny pants. And so, like, you don't want to, like this guy right here. I think that it's serious. And shout out to Benjamin Albright over there in Denver. He's a fantastic guy. I've been following him for long. Great, great conversationalist and a guy who's willing to be self-deprecating. Like I think that's important. If you're going to be in this business, you got to be willing to like be made fun of sometimes. Like somebody was making fun of me the other day, yesterday because my hair was in every shot. Like every person that I was interviewing in the back, whenever you looked at the national video, you saw my hair and they're like, yeah, look at this big doofy in the way of everybody. And you got to be willing to like make fun of yourself. But I'm serious about this talent thing. Like the idea, like Arvell Reese is a really good linebacker who can play an edge, but the edge is not where his ceiling is, and it's not the position that you can get money at the longest. There was a time where linebackers didn't get paid, right? And so you didn't want to be an inside linebacker because inside linebackers didn't get paid. But that's no longer the case. We have inside linebackers getting $100 million contracts. So Arvell Reese, his arrow points up. I think he could be a Pro Bowl edge, but that is a really, really deep group that you got to penetrate through. And you've got to get lucky. Because if you're on a team with other people who also get to the quarterback, it's a fight to see who gets to the quarterback first. So I think like Arvell Reese can be a really good edge. But I think Arvell Reese as a stand-up inside linebacker, if you put him next to, you know, if you put him next to a Bobby Okereke and restructure Okereke's contract, so maybe you save a little bit on that, and now you have Okereke and Reese for the next, let's say, 3 years, right? You got a legitimate inside linebacker play for the next 3 years, and then you just turn it over to Reese and rinse, wash, repeat with the next person that you want to put next to him. I feel the exact same way about Sonny Styles, although I don't think Sonny Styles thinks he's an edge rusher like Arvell Reese thinks he's an edge rusher. I think Sonny Styles is a guy that's a plug and play guy right now. I think, if I'm being honest, there are 10, maybe 14 interior linebackers that I think could come in and be plug and play starting inside linebackers right now. Tell me how this draft is bad. Just because there's not a whole bunch of wide receivers that people are really excited about. I want y'all to think about the whole this draft isn't good because there's no offensive skill guys heavy at the top. I want y'all to think about that, right? And I want you to think to yourself, you've got 2 years ago where people said, hey, this is a really deep wide receiver draft. That was the draft that had Malik Neighbors and all them guys in it, right? How many of those guys are like household names as far as like their performance going into year 3? You got Neighbors coming off of a season-ending injury. You've got Rome Odunze, who in year 2 was better, but now they're talking Luther Burton might be the man, right? Like who are these guys? Like where are they at? Last year, there was supposed to be so many good wide receivers, right? You had Ted McMillan. Is Ted McMillan a star in year 1? No. Like Ted McMillan was a decent wide receiver. He wasn't a great wide receiver in year 1. He wasn't even a good wide receiver. He wasn't a consistent wide receiver in year number 1. Blame whoever you want to blame, right? My point is that rarely do you see wide receivers coming into the league and setting the world on fire. Like that's not what you normally see out of the rookies. You normally see them be decent, and then maybe in year 2, year 3, they pop up. You know what I'm saying? They get it popping if they're really good. Like, so what are we really missing? It's not like next year if this was an extremely high level wide receiver class, we would see them be immediate impacts in year one anyway. Sometimes it's hit or miss with running backs, right? Sometimes the running backs are really good to start. Sometimes they need a year to kick up, right? Jahmyr Gibbs needed a year to kick up, right? Like we see it all the time. So no, there's not like the oh my god level offensive skill guy in here other than the one we all know, right? Other than one. But tell me how many of these cornerbacks you're really excited about. Like there are a lot of cornerbacks that I'm looking at and I'm going, he's going to be really good. Like he's going to help somebody be a much better defense right now. Like that says a lot. There are players, and this is the beauty of the NFL that people don't talk about when they talk about who you draft and who you don't draft, right? The beauty of the NFL on defense more than on offense is because you can play such a specified role. There are guys who are nose guard, 330-pound pluggers that ain't gonna do nothing but come on the field for 1 and 2 plays, and they are absolutely gonna make their teams instantly better. Instantly better. There are guys who can't stop the run a lick, but if you get them in 3rd and long and you put them out there on edge, they're gonna come in the game, and there's not a tackle that's gonna be able to do anything with them. Those guys are all over the place. Several of them will not even get drafted. Several of them will not even get drafted. They will be an undrafted free agent trying to make it on a team. And you guys will, with a straight face, some of these national people with a straight face will sit there on camera and tell people, this ain't a really good draft. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. I look like a football player. Like every year when I go to football stuff, I spend the week convincing people that I don't play football. This is not a flex. I used to be a football player. I was a good football player. I'm not an NFL football player. Never have. Didn't have a chance to. I was really good in college. That's it. Game over. But I walk around and people look at me like I'm a football player, like I could still possibly be playing. And then you see the real football players. And it goes, oh, there's a difference. Right? Like I'm standing and I'm walking by as edge rushers are walking by. And to the man, it's 6'4", 255, 6'3", 245, 6'5", 265, 6'6". Like, I mean, just one after another, after another, after another, after another. Like guys who would take your girlfriend in a minute. Notice I said your girlfriend because I still have a little bit of vanity in me. Like they couldn't take my girlfriend, but if we're being honest about it, my girlfriend's probably gone too, right? Like that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the 1% of the 1%, and yet people will try to tell you, ain't no stars in here. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the lesser known people get their opportunity to shine every single year at the draft, at the combine. I get the opportunity to see people who really came here to show you I'm one of them ones. Right? A lot of people, somebody got jokes in it? Chef Curtis, you ain't gonna do me like that, brother. I'm telling you, I'm not Joe Shane. Joe Shane himself walked up to me and was like, hey man, you can still be playing. And I went, no, these knees do not feel like they could be playing anything. Don't do me like that, Chef Curtis. I still can move too. Like don't get it twisted. I only might got like 2-3 reps in me, but I can still get to it. But yeah, so I think about these things, right? Like I'm excited to see these guys. And so I'm going to run down some names of some dudes that you should keep an eye on in day one of these on-field workouts. Like I said, we know the Sonny Styles. We know the Arvell Reeses. I don't even think Reese is performing. There's been some other guys who probably won't perform. But I'm going to tell you people that I know are going to perform. A name that you might know, Harold Perkins, right? The linebacker from Louisiana State. As a rookie, he was really more used as a pass rusher, and then he got injured and kind of lost his identity a little bit, as an outside rusher. But he has turned into and matured into a much better interior linebacker. He reminds me of like the blacks and those guys where he's so athletic, he's so instinctual that he makes up for maybe some of the things that he doesn't know as a tactician of the position. He can cover. He'll hit you, he can run you down. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. Like if he's able to put on a show, I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. Another linebacker, Anthony Hill Jr. He is I would call him your Costco version of Arvell Reese, right? 6'4", 245, like a kind of throwback to the size of the old school Mike linebackers, right? A throwback to when you used to have to be a big banger as an inside linebacker in order to play, but he has the athleticism to be able to do everything, to be a 3-down guy. I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. I think if he puts up some great numbers, it's gonna maybe notch him up a few, in some boardrooms. Like I know that that these people out loud tell you that they don't move pieces based off the combine, but every year we see people go higher than they would have went if they didn't perform well at the combine. So how can that be the truth, right? They're just lying to you. Like if they didn't move people because of how they performed in the combine, the Seattle Seahawks wouldn't have the safety plan for them that they have right now. Because for all of the accolades that he had, people had questions, and then he went to the combine and destroyed it, and then nobody had questions anymore, right? So like I think you see those things help people. You see them hurt people. I've seen people drop into day 3 of the draft just because they didn't run a fast time in the 40. Yet when you put on the film, you never see them run slow. You never see people run away from them. You always see them get to the spot. But because they ran slow at the 40 at the combine, like, so the people telling you they don't change it because they're just lying. They can't give you all the sauce. Like we already just had this conversation, this argument about people having access to the all 22. People have all this access to the all 22 and still can't read coverages. So how do you know if this dude ran the wrong route if you don't actually know the route combination that he's supposed to be running? Right? Like you're diagramming on the all 22. Yeah, he's supposed to do this on the route. How you know? Did the all 22 come with a play chart? Because if the all 22 doesn't come with a play chart and responsibilities, how do you know what they're supposed to be doing? So I'm looking forward to seeing how those linebackers perform. Defensive tackles, Caleb Proctor, a little undersized, right? He's definitely going to be like a 3 technique. He's definitely going to be a 3 technique if he's in a 4-man front. He could be a speed nose, but he's a defensive tackle out of Southeastern Louisiana, probably the best defensive tackle in FCS this past year. One of the only FCS people getting an opportunity to perform here. I expect him to go out there and show out. Expect some sub 5 seconds. I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes sub 4.9, like a 4.8 something. I wouldn't be surprised. Very athletic guy. Gary Smith III, I was really impressed with him and talking with him. He is a big, short, fire hydrant nose guard out of UCLA, 330 pounds. But when you see him, he looks good. Like, he looks well put together. He thinks he's going to go out there and perform, and I want to see it. He's made mention to the fact that he thinks people are going to be impressed with his vertical jump, right? Which talks about explosion, like that focuses on explosion. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. One of my big, like, one of the big guys that I'm like, I wonder, like, if he's just been sharpened by the iron that he has had to go up against his entire career, and that's Logan Fano. Like, I believe because his brother is one of the top rated offensive linemen in this draft, and his teammate is another one of the top rated offensive linemen in this draft. He's had to go against elite level, like NFL caliber starting offensive linemen his entire career. He has a pedigree. He has several, not just one or two or three, several family members who have played in the NFL. He has several members who have played in college, like cousins and uncles, and his father was like, he has pedigree. And those guys don't just flame out. Like, those guys who have that pedigree and exist in the trenches, I could see him being a guy who ends up, like, finding his way into a 2 deep on an NFL team and who becomes a special teams nightmare. So I want to see, because he's very confident in his athletic ability. I want to see it play out on the combine. And the last one is George Gums. George Gums is an edge from Florida who, when he first started college, he started off as a wide receiver, right? When he first started off in college, he started off as a wide receiver. Um, and from there, like, as a receiver, he transitioned to a tight end, and then he switched to, like, he switched to an edge rusher. So he's extremely like young in the position. Like, he hasn't been playing the position very long, but he's super athletic. Why? Because he used to be a receiver and now he's playing edge rusher. I look for him to put up some numbers that are really, like, explosive, because you should if you're a receiver and now you're a defensive end or an edge rusher. Well, edge rusher, because he's too small to be a defensive end right now. Chef Curtis still out here trying to, like, take shots. Coach, what speed is too damn slow on linebackers? You're speaking about cats disrespecting. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by what speed is too damn slow on linebackers. Um, yeah, you gotta get me again with that one. I don't know exactly what you mean. But I'm not disrespecting anyone. And if I'm saying that people are disrespecting, if you're talking about you, if you think that I'm saying about you disrespecting me as an athlete, oh yeah, you definitely disrespected my athletic ability, big dog. I used to be one of them ones. Now I'm just like a fat one of them ones, but well, when I say fat, I mean I'm a big one of them ones. With too much in the midsection, but that doesn't mean I still can't move out here, you know. And so, uh, but those are the six names that I'm really looking forward to watching perform. I think that they have an opportunity to do some really nice things, you know. And so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Also tomorrow, so you know, the next group of people who are up doing their interviews, their media interviews, will be there, and so we'll get an opportunity to talk to those guys as well, and that should be fun. Because there's some, like the media availability for those guys um at DB. We get a chance to see. I hope that all of them are going to perform. Outside of maybe Jamont McCoy, who I think has a chance to be the best DB in this class, right? Because he's coming off of an injury, but he's really, really good. But there's so many of them, right? Mansour Delane out of LSU. Does he end up with the Saints because the Saints might want to keep him at home? You've got both of the boys from Toledo, Andre Fuller, Avery Smith. You don't really know their names, but they're good ball players. Marcus Allen out there. There's going to be some D'Angelo Pons, right? And the a lot of the conversation behind Pons has been about his height, right? And is height the thing, right? Like his height being a thing, and he's going to be too short because in the NFL at some point these ultra athletic wide receivers are just taller and bigger and whatever. Yeah, that happens. But in the meantime, what is he doing to them, right? Like what is he doing to them in all that time when they're just waiting for that one opportunity to get over? But in the meantime, he's out there killing. And so I'm going to look to see what he does. I probably won't be able to get any sound bites from him because it's going to be flooded. Like the airwaves are just going to be like there's going to be a ton of people over there by him. But and I also just like to bring you some guys that people aren't talking about. So look for me to do that again tomorrow, to bring you some names and share some conversations with some guys that maybe you haven't heard from a lot. Like that's something you should definitely expect from me when we start talking about the DBs, and we get to see the tight ends. So again, I hope all of these guys are going to perform, because if they don't, it makes it a lot more difficult, in my opinion. When you don't give these guys the opportunity to perform. So let's hope that they're willing to perform, and then we'll get you ready for those Fridays where the wide receivers are there. And I'm going to tell you, there's some talent. There's some underlying talent that I think are really high end wide receiver twos. Like I think that this draft is flooded with them, guys who can be the Robin to somebody's Batman. And you're going to be able to find it in this draft. It's a rich draft. I don't know why people are disappointed. I can't figure it out. It's so frustrating to me. But I look forward to bringing it to you as always, and I'm looking forward to hitting this refresh on the New York Giants on SI YouTube page and seeing 3,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 2,999 subscribers. We are right there. So if you have the opportunity right now, if you are watching and you are not subscribed, I think there's 17 people on X right now watching. If any one of you 17 people on X that are watching, if you're not subscribed to the New York Giants on SI YouTube page, make sure you go over there to YouTube and do it. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know anytime that I hit you with another one of these. I really appreciate you all. And until next time, I'm Coach Gene Clemons, and I have a giant issue.